gentlemen, and others, please welcome to the stage your host, Silly Wings.
And welcome to the Silly Wings show. We're going to have a lot of cool new acts and a lot of cool new experiences, so stick around. You might just find something that you like. Tonight's episode is a very special episode because it is the first ever Silly Wings episode ever to be released. From my screen to yours, darling. It's also a special episode because it is a new year. A new year, 2022. Let's hope that it's better than the previous 2020s. New year, new you, new me, new everything. New experiences. New art to be discovered, new musicians, new performers, and all to be discovered here on the Silly Wings show. Marvellous. Really quite something. So, you might be asking, well, Silly, if this is such a special episode, what do you have in store for us? And I'm glad that you asked. I'm really glad that you asked. Because we have an amazing guest on tonight. They're called the Daring Time Dancers. They don't travel through time, they dance through it. And they're going to be performing their new song, Sands in the Hourglass. A very fitting theme for these new times, this new era, this new show, new everything. I hope you enjoy the new year, and I hope you enjoy this especially special. Now, without further ado, the Daring Time Dancers. You can have lifetimes in a single day, and years go like minutes, hair's turning grey. You can find anything in a second, yet it'll take years to finally see it come to you, come to me, come to you, come to make me come true. If you wanted to show you how to turn back time, oh, but it's a curse we must all suffer twice, a curse we must all sacrifice. So please dance with me away from where we're meant to be, away from all we can see. If you think you'll escape unscathed, I tell you, oh, no one gets through unassaulted, unappeased, unaccosted, or with ease. No one gets done for free. No one breaks out without a reason, a season of turmoil, of torment, of all that you ever wanted. Oh, no one sees the other side of it, of breaking free. No one sees us. No one sees us dancing in the dark, and we cannot break out. We're dancing in the dark, and we cannot break out. Time slips through, and we keep on pushing through as days passing by, as time flies. Bye. Welcome, Downtown Dancers. Very cool, very fresh, very new. So, could you explain a little about the song "Sands in the Hourglass"? What exactly is it about? Yeah, it's about yeah, it's about a lot of stuff. It's about yeah. Wow, really profound. Wow. So how did you guys meet exactly? What brought you together as a band? Where did we meet? Jesus. We did meet Jesus at one point, but that's not where we met exactly. Jimmy, I met in the 70s, and Leo and I go way back. He's actually Da Vinci, so I've known him for a real long time. Little old Leo Da Vinci. And then Kim's the melodicist, or melodica player, however you like to say it. She's from the 20s actually. I met her in the 20s. We did have a drummer, but we don't know where he went. I think he's in a time vortex somewhere. But yeah. Wow, amazing. So what is it like exactly? Like, what is it like exactly? Yeah, it's pretty nice. Yeah. So does it feel sort of, sensual at all? Oh wait, what, dancing? Are we talking about the dancing? Dancing. Oh, okay. Time dancing. Yeah, it's it's dancing, so it's gonna be like kind of sensual, I suppose, depending on Okay, so something I'm curious about is how does one exactly dance through time? Well, I've heard of time travel. I've heard of time jumping, maybe even, but dancing, that's a very unique form. How does one exactly do that? Oh, okay. Yeah. It seems to be very peculiar, Yeah, it's unique, definitely. It's well, you just you're dancing one day and then you realize, shit, this isn't where I'm meant to be. I'm meant to be like 50 years in the future or in the past or whatever. And that's kind of how it happens. It just sort of happens, You'll be vibing, grooving, moving, and then boom, you're not where in the era you're meant to be. So, when you dance, does it have to be like a dance from that era? It doesn't have to be specific, silly. It's just gotta be daring. Hence the name Daring Time Dancers. But any dance can work. It doesn't have to be from any sort of specific era. You don't have to do a dance move from the 50s to end up in the 50s. You can be twerking and end up in the 50s. It's just better to dance the dance moves of that era, because then it kind of you blend in a little bit better. You don't want it to be a little too unsettling. Why music, of all things? Why music? Why making sort of mediocre indie songs if you can dance through time? Surely there must be different, more intelligent things to do with your time than this. We just, when you start traveling and dancing through time, you kind of start to realize life's short. There's a lot of things to see, a lot to do. So we just, this isn't all that we do. We just sort of do it for fun, you know. This is kind of just like, you know. But it is kind of one of our main forms of income. We write songs before they're made, you know. So essentially, we find a popular song, and then we go back a few years. And we write a similar song. Does that mean that you sort of inspire some of the greatest songs in history? Is that have you paved the path for music history? Is that what you're trying to say? No. So they don't actually ever hear our songs because, you know, we're not that successful. But we just make songs that are similar enough, release them a few years beforehand, and then people will think that the more talented musicians ripped us off. When in reality, we're ripping them off. But we're suing them. And occasionally we win, and we get some cash. And that's pretty cool. Wow, so you don't make any music history, you sue famous musicians, and that's how you make a living. Yeah, essentially. That's really something. That's really, wow, that's starting to feel a bit uncomfortable with the choices I've made in terms of the guests I have on the show, but that's really, wow. Yeah, I mean, it's not like the most honorable way of doing things, but it's, you know, you gotta get paid somehow. You gotta hustle when you're time dancers, you know. You can't really get like a normal job or anything, you know. So do you have any sort of New Year's resolutions? You know, silly, no, no. I sort of gave up on New Year's resolutions a while ago. You know, when you dance through time like I do, it sort of just becomes a blur. Time becomes very meaningless, and it just, you kind of get stuck in this trap of, is it a gift or is it a curse that I can dance through time? You start forgetting which day it is, which year it is, where you are, and it all just becomes sort of a blur, and you don't really know where you are or what you're doing or what's happening. And so the idea of making a New Year's resolution is really kind of meaningless, because for you it's a new year, but for me it's yesteryear, you know? It doesn't really mean anything anymore. So I don't really do that whole, yeah, I'm gonna work out more, you know? It's like, I don't even know what decade I'm in, you know? Yeah. That was a deeply disturbing answer that I think I related a little too much to. Yeah. Even though I can't dance through time myself. Yeah. Do you want to tell us about the future at all? What's the future like? What does you know, what's in store? The future? It'll happen. Eventually. Anything positive? You know, anything optimistic, maybe, hopefully, getting people through these difficult times of whatever we're living right now. Do you have anything to say? Optimistic, hopeful, inspiring. You know, I don't think I should really share much about the future right now. I feel like maybe that should wait. You know what I mean? No, I don't know what you mean exactly. What do you mean? What do you mean you shouldn't share much about the future? Is that so? I don't feel like that's the opposite of what I was hoping for. Something hopeful, and that's not very hopeful. it's just not really good vibes, you know. I don't really want to. I mean, not bad vibes. You know, it's just like sort of. I mean, it'll get better. It might get worse after that, but it'll get better. But you know, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything. So do you want to? Do you want to? Is there anything that you'd like to say to the viewers? Anything sort of hopeful or inspiring
Anything
or interesting?
inspiring for the audience? Yeah, I mean, just like keep on dancing. Just keep dancing. Yeah.
Keep dancing. I like that. I like that. Yes. Well, that's not wiser than what I thought you were going to say. So thank you. Thank you for something inspiring.
Yeah, thank you, Silly. Thank you for having us on. We're gonna skedaddle because it's getting a little awkward.
I suppose that's fair.
I don't really know where the gang wants to go. I think maybe we might go hang out with some German expressionists. I feel like that might be the best, considering, you know, our outfits.
All right.
So we're gonna get out of here. But thank you for having us.
And they're dancing away now. They're dancing. Oh, look at them go. Marvelous. Well, I hope that wasn't too strange of an episode. Just a little bit of strange, you know, a little bit of healthy amount of strangeness. Yes, I hope you enjoyed the first episode of Silly Winks. I hope it inspired you in some way. I hope you learned something. I'm not sure if I did. I did try, but I'm not sure if I did. Yes. Tune in for the next episode. Whenever we make it, I'm not entirely sure. And yes, stay tuned for more Silly Winks. Thank you. And have a marvellous day, night, year, life. Goodbye. And ta-ta.